Hi guys, welcome to tonight's flight here on the channel. As we're in Asia and we're down in Kuala Lumpur with the Malaysian airline Retro 737-800. We're going to be doing a flight down into Singapore. We're going to be leaving runway 14 left and we're going to be arriving in for 02 right. We're going to be coming in for the RNAV RNP for 02 right, and flight level will be for 270. We're going to be using some performance software as well so we can get some cell temps and some D-rates on the takeoff, and we should get some better climb out speeds as we'll use a different technique on the takeoff procedure. So don't forget to like and subscribe guys, leave your comments down below, help us get to that 2K subscriber goal, and thank you for hitting the 1.6 thousand subscriber to everybody, new and old. Thank you very much. So let's get into the cockpit and start the aircraft up ready for our departure out of Kuala Lumpur. Okay, so we're in the 737-800 now, so we're going out overhead. We'll get our batteries on and guarded, standby power is guarded and ground power is on. We'll go to bat and ground power. We'll go overhead and we'll get the IRSs aligned, so we'll put them to nav. We'll twist over, we've got 1 minute because we've got the quick align on. We'll get the flaps checked, we'll check the flight recorder, which is checked. Mac airspeed warning, and after the electrics and that come to life we'll do the stall test. Go down the centre now, we'll get our panel lights all in. Can arm the emergency lights, we'll get our chimes, and we'll get the fasten seat belts in. Can put on the window heats, we'll get the trim air and the packs can go on. After that we'll get our panel lights down below them. And we'll get the yoke in. Go over and do our tests. Okay, so there's one. Go ahead and test the left side. Okay, which is set. So we're going to test the APU now. So don't expect to see anything come up on there. Just cargo. I don't think anything comes up on there either, which is set. So we can go over now into the FMC, we'll get our radios all set up. Okay, so we're going to get the irises now all aligned, so we're going from Whiskey Mike Kilo Kilo. We'll set that into the IRS, we'll go in and get that from the left GPS. We'll see that the irises are aligned now as the screens will come to life. We'll go back down onto our route. So from Kuala Lumpur we're going to Singapore. Going on our departure, going from runway 14 left, and we're taking the Batar 1 hotel, which is already set in. Down on our route from Batar, we're going to take the Alpha 464, which will run us down to Arama. And then from Arama, we're going to be coming in for the Arama 1 Alpha. We're coming in for the RNAV for 02 right, and we'll put the glide slope 2 on. We can activate that up now. Going to our perf, we can do everything by the book. So we've got our 0 fuel weight, which is 61.0, which gives us 70.8. We've actually got 70.5, which is in like so. On our reserves for our fuel is 9.8, which is checked. Reserves we've got 3. On our performance we've got a cost index of 16. We're going for a flight level of 270. That's all fine. From there we'll get our ISA, so 131005. Okay, and we've got -23. So coming in on our takeoff performance, we can now set everything up accordingly. So we've got a cell temp of 54, which is set. From there you can see climb 2 and the D rate, so 54 will give us a reduced to 92.7 and 1 for takeoff, and we're going to be going for a flaps 5. On my charts I've got 141, 143 and 152, so we've got 145, 146 and a 149, but I'm going to put that to 152, which is set. For the runway winds, we've got 060 and 09, which is set. You can go back, we'll put them all back in. 152, which is set. So we should be okay, and for our centre of gravity is 25.6. Okay, so a trim of 5, which is set. We'll go overhead now, we'll get the APU started, and we'll turn one pump on for that. We'll get the position light and the anti-collision. We can turn our logo on. We'll see the EGT now come, we've got the low pressure oil. So the irises are now aligned, so we can put the yaw damper on. Go for a flight level of 270, which is set. Runway elevation down into Singapore. Okay, here's going to be a 16, so we'll leave that at 0, which is set. So on our charts, we're going to be leaving out on the 116, and then we're going to make a right turn onto the 178, which we can see right here. Speed restrictions 205 at 1410 and 250 at 6007. So there's vehicle at DME 8, as we can see here. That'll be 250, so we can start to accelerate out. When we go into that right turn, passing 4,000 feet, we're going to that right turn. So we've got the aircraft's temps and everything in, so that should be all okay. I've got the QNH for the airport, which we can put in again. So we'll get in Kuala Lumpur's, and it should be 1012. It may differ by 1 or 2 hectopascals. And we've got a landing performance as well that we can use, and to be able to tell you exactly what lengths the auto brake will give us when coming in. So we've got 152, which is set. V2 plus 20, it'll be 172. We'll bug that in after we take off. It should be our flaps 5. So we'll check the ASUS now. Let's have a look. So onto first officer's panel now, we can test the terrain.
Flight slow. Pull up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Obstacle. Obstacle. Pull up. Airspeed low.
Okay, so as you can see, they are ready to go. Airport elevation is 70. So I put 1,000 feet plus 70. Okay, which is all set. We're practically all set to go now. We're going to be leaving out on the runway heading, which is going to be the 146, which is set. Any VORs that we've got the Kuala Lumpur, which is the 1161. Okay, which was set. Got any other VORs that we need to stick in? No. So we're going to be going all the way down. Once we pass the 178, we'll make that left turn back onto the 147. So it's pretty much runway heading straight down direct to Batar, which is all set. So we can put the 11610 in on the first officer's side as well. So there's VOR for that. Go overhead now. We can get the APU gen switched over. We can go to APU gen. We'll now get our electrics in, and we'll turn our pumps on and get the probes on, as we're going to be going in just a second. We can turn the APU bleed on, and we can turn the engine bleeds off. So we are now practically all set to go. Once we leave out from the VOR, as we are going to go straight down onto the one. Tug's now driving up, as you can see, 4,000 feet. Once we pass for that right turn to 178, and then we'll go all the way to Batar. We're on our restraints for Batar, 250 below 118. So we'll stay at 250, and then obviously when we get to Zabar, that'll be 200. So we can go now, get everything all turned off. We can turn off the GPU, ASU, we can get our doors and everything closed and locked as the truck now comes in. So Tug's going to lift us up now, the doors and everything are retracted, we've got our position light and everything which is on, so we can go ahead now and we'll turn off the packs as he's lifting us up. And we're all set to go. Out of runway 14 left, we can see on our departure charts, which are right
here. Connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
When we come out, we're going to have to go down Sierra 5 as we're right on the end gate, and then we'll just join back on for hotel as we come around. So he wants us to release the parking brake, so parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay, so we're going to start engines, and we'll go for engine number 2. As you can see, the start valve's now opened. N2 is going to start to increase, now oil pressure will ignite. 25%, we'll inject the fuel, and we'll watch her light up. Now center pump, so we can see engine number 2's now come back over, and we'll go for engine number 1. See now the start valves open, we'll see N2 now increase, oil temperature will come to life, and 25% will inject fuel. Okay, so Tug's now ready. He's going to stop us in just a moment.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Okay, so parking brake is set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
TCAS can go to TA. Okay, so we're basically, as we're not going to be able to make it out onto the Sierra 9, we're going to have to join the Sierra 5, then back taxi onto hotel, where we'll then take that left onto Bravo and head all the way up to the Alpha 1 hold, where we'll then shoot out of runway 14 left, and on our departure we can see that we've got the Kuala Lumpur VOR, which is the Victor Kilo Lima. 8 dear me from Victor Kilo Lima is our first, passing 4,000, we take a right turn. So coming back over now, we can see that we've got everything all set. Wait for the tug to disappear and then we'll get the APU and everything switched over.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Okay, see you soon. So we've got everything all set. We can see that we're going to leave out onto the 116, which is the 146 on our heading, and then we're going to go onto the 116 just upon takeoff. So we can now switch the buses back over. We'll go to Gen 1. We can put the packs back on, put the bleeds back on, put the isolation valve to auto. The APU bleed can go off now with the APU, and we can stick our taxi lights on. We'll do our systems check. So we've got full left, full right, full forward, full backwards, rudder left and rudder right. There we go, full rudder left, which is all set, so we can switch that back over now. And we are now all good to go. So we can tell the cabin, we can now start the flight leg.
Flight attendants prepare for departure, cross check and all call, thank you.
Okay, so we're all good to go now, and we are ready and set to depart. So we'll release the parking brake and we'll power on up now. So as you can see, we've got a D-rate takeoff 54, which gives us 92.7 on N1. We should have a nice climb out, as I've been looking for some performance software, so then we can actually derate the aircraft and we don't get some crazy takeoffs. Also started looking at different takeoff procedures instead of the LNAV and VNAV on departure, as you don't have no speed protection when you have VNAV engaged on takeoff, which is why you'll go straight up to your 250 knots and all flaps will start getting retracted. So today what we'll do is we'll do the LNAV, and we'll just leave the LNAV and the auto throttle engaged, and then once we get to our flaps up speed, so we'll manually go V2 plus 20 and speed up from there. Once we get flaps up, we'll go to acceleration speed to 250, where after our flaps are retracted, then we can engage the VNAV, and then we'll let the autopilot carry on its job to take us to Singapore. So we'll say coming out, we're going to go straight up to 250. I'll take it to 4,000. Okay, which is set. We'll keep that there until we pass over. So we're on the Sierra 5 now, ready to take that left turn onto hotel. We are using Orthos, we were using the Reshade today as well, as we haven't flown in Asia for a really long time, so I thought it'd be really nice to go back there, as there are some lovely views and lovely scenery on the Orthos to be seen as well, so not to forget Asia. Okay, so we're going to taxi all the way down now. So we're going to be coming in for the RNAV approach for 02 right. We could have done 02 centre with the ILS, but seeing as it's the ILS that's always flying around, it's always nice to do some RNAVs and VOR or localizer approaches. So as we come down now, hotel, we can see if we just get our charts. So you see on our charts, we're going to take a left from Bravo 13 to Bravo 12, and it's going to be our last left before you've got the oncoming for Alpha 10. So set the auto brake to RTO. Okay, so as we're now bearing down onto for Alpha, you can see we've got some Virgin Atlantic. Okay, as we're going to veer off now to the right, so come all the way up. So we'll move from Bravo onto Alpha now as we join on. Can pick up our taxi speed as well. 27 knots, we'll stay 430 as we go past Alpha 5 now. Okay, so there's 30 knots, we'll idle back. Now for Alpha 1. Okay, so over we go now as we cross over the whole line. 414 left, so put our runway turn-offs on. Everything else can stay on, strobes can stay on, wing and wheel on. Okay, and start switch can be continuous.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Okay, so we're all set to go now as we'll line up on the runway. Okay, so we'll line up here. We'll get our final checks done as we are all set to go now. Get our departure chart up as well, as we can see now. So we're coming out, we're going to go onto the 116, then pass in 4,000 feet, turn onto the 178. So we are all set to go. We just need to go in and see that everything's all good there, which is all set. Go and zoom out now so we can have a look, and there's the 116, which we're all set to come into from the VOR. So we're all ready to go as we'll follow that out. So we can put on our landing lights, which are all set. We tell the cabin we're all set to go. Everything overhead looks fine. No lights, no faults. We can check the recall, which is set. No lights, which is all good to go. So we're all set. Brakes released. Go to 40%. Okay, and toga. Airspeed live. Check. Throttle hold.
V1, rotate.
Rotate. Okay.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Okay, so we can see our V2 plus 20, check. Woods brake can go to RTO, and we can now turn the gear off. So we can see that the flight director is keeping us at our V2 plus 20, which should be our flaps 5, as we now make our way up.
1,000.
1,000, check. The throttle is armed. We need to stay below 205, so we can go up now to our 205 marker, which will be our flaps 1. We'll keep the aircraft speeded up. As we now go onto that left turn, which is going to take us on to the 116. Okay, which is set. There's 116, which is locked in as we now start to speed up. Turn on our terrain, and we've got the airport on. As we slowly make our climb up now through 2,200 feet. We'll bypass our flaps 2 as we get ready now to go to our flaps up. So 205, which is our max, so we can stay for 200 feet, 200 on the speed, sorry. As we come through 3,000, slowly lower the pitch a little, and we just bank onto the right. As we let the aircraft now speed up, and then once we go over onto that turn, we'll then take her up. So we can stay for flaps 1 now. As we just make 2 degrees turn. There's 3009, there's 4000 just passing through. 4000 above onto the right turn. And we'll go up to our flaps up speed now, which is set. Okay, so we go flaps up now. After takeoff checklist, got our gear which is up and off, got our flaps which are retracted, no lights. Coming up now to our flaps up speed, we'll increase the angle of attack as we get ready now to turn on to the 178. Okay, there's 178, as we just lower our angle. And with the performance and the change of the LNAV and VNAV, the departure is a lot more enjoyable. So as we get ready now to go into that right hand turn, we can put max bank, go on to the 178 now. And now we can speed up to our 250. So we'll go to our acceleration speed. And we'll just pitch the nose down a little. As we take that right turn now, onto the 178. Okay, so now our flaps are fully retracted. We can go now into VNAV. I'm going to go to 270, which is set. And we're already now on our way to Singapore. So we'll lift the nose up a little and we'll use a little bit of pitch as we backtrack now, ready to get back on course. Okay, there's 250, and we just lower the nose slightly, and we bring the aircraft back into that roll. Okay, get ready to go back on. I would take that left turn back around. So let the aircraft go back to 250. Let's swing into that left turn. Just ready to leave the coast. I'll leave a link in the description for the software that I used today for the calculations. Okay. So as we backtrack now for that 178. And as the aircraft is stable now, go ahead and put on the autopilot. Go overhead now, put our landing lights off, runway turn-offs, taxis can go off, and put our wheel well. We can tell the cabin to relax now, and engine starts are continuous. As we now veer off from the 178 onto the 148 back now to go to Batam. So 148, set the QNHs now, as QNHs are 11,000, which are set. So over on standard pressure as we now leave lovely Kuala Lumpur. As you can see now, we're just getting ready to intercept back onto the 148. On our way to Dumuk, we'll carry on the 147. And that was our departure, guys. Nice and smooth, nice and relaxed. We do it after takeoff checklist now. So after takeoff checklist, we've got air conditioning and pressurization, which is set. From there, we can see that we have got engine start switches, which are continuous. Landing gear is up and off. Auto brakes off. Flaps are up, no lights, and altimeters are set onto the standard barometric pressure. So As we now climb out, we can now go into our FMC. We can see 290, so we're going to go back to our acceleration speed. You can see up on the climb 290 target, for the cruise 294, and then on the descent as we come down we can check our progress. So setting it down, takeoff cinematics now, guys, and then we'll get back to our top of descent, ready to come into the lovely Singapore airport. So don't forget to like and subscribe, guys, help us get to that 2k subscriber goal, and I'll see you when we get back for our top of descent ready for Singapore for the RNAV for 02 right. So I'll see you guys in just a sec. Flight deck right now. We're going to start to decel and get ready at our top of descent. We're going to go down to 10,000 feet, which is the first step in our step down towards our star. We're going to be coming in for the ILS for 02 Centre, as for some reason in the RNAV thinks that the airport is around 6,000 miles away when we come down onto our minimums. So we're going to come in for the ILS for 02 Centre. So we're going to slow down to 273 or 275. As we get to Arama, it's 250, where we are currently 10 miles from a topic where we start on top of descent. And for Arama, we are then going to turn on to the 147, which is going to bring us down 41 miles to Bobek, which you can see 41 miles for Bobek, where we'll get for 220 now knots, 10,000 above. We'll turn a right turn onto the 182, where we'll be 6,000 above, and 4,000 above for Samco for 190, where we'll then make that left turn, where we're going to end up for Lidva, from Samco to Lidva, and then from Lidva we follow the 023 all the way down, and we can see on our minimums as well we are all set to come in. So we left at 4,500 and then all the way down to the glide slope. So there's our top of descent now coming into view. Got our weather on. We've got our engine start switches continuous. We can tell the cabin now that we are getting ready for our descent. Landing altitude can go to 50 as we're using the landing software. So we have a look on our landing software. We can see that we've got flaps 30 and landing altitude is 50. We go into our approach as we've now started the decel, and our descent as vertical deviation is now going down. As we get to Arama, then we'll see our decel for 250 coming down 10,000 above, 6,000 above, 4,000 above as we can see, and there's 4,500 for Lidva. So the aircraft's now gone into its top of descent as we're coming down to 10,000, and then we'll lower the MCP altitude once we get nearer to our fix. So around 0.2 miles away. So coming down now, engine start switches are continuous. We'll tell the cabin now, so we get ready as we come down. Set up our minimums as well, one for the approach, 214 for 200. Which is 340 at 25 knots. We've got down on the runway. We've got a little bit of turbulence as well. Okay, and it was 214, which is set. QNH is going to be 1012, so that hasn't changed. 214. Which is set. Passing through 24,000 feet now. You can see once we transition out, that's 11,000. We'll switch the QNHs back over. You can see, so we've got the Takong VOR, which is the 116.5. That's for the DME. We've got our ILS here, and we've got Sinjon as well, which is around. Over on our approach now, we can see now that we are heading down. For a rammer ready for the 147. So there's our decel for 250. We'll go ahead and open up a speed brake as we go onto that 147. So 147 is set. Okay, as we make that right turn now onto 147. We can either use auto brake 2, 3 or max, so we'll go for auto brake number 2. Okay, speed brakes can go back in now, which are set, and we have our anti-ice which are on for the engine. Okay, arm can come in. There's 220, now we start our descent down for 10,000, arms in so I can manually manipulate the throttles. As we stay for 250 all the way down, and you can see near Bobag we've got the decel again, which is going to be for 220 for 10,000 feet. Then from 10,000 feet we'll lower it to 6,000 feet, and so on. So we've got 40 miles to go now down, so we'll let the throttles come in. Passing flight level 210. So we can go and do our descent checklist. So we've got pressurization and landing altitude, which is set for 50. We've got anti-ice, engine anti-ice is on. The approach briefing and fuel coming in for the ILS for runway 02 center. Following the 147, where we'll take the left turn for Bobag at 220 knots for 10,000 above. We'll follow the 082 all the way down for 6,000 above and 4,000 above, where we'll slow from 220 knots to 190 at Samco, where we'll then basically make that left turn to intercept for the ILS, where we'll be on the 023 track for 4,500 feet, where we'll stay on course for the localizer and insert the glide slope at 4,500 feet. Missed approach altitude is at Lagos 0.07 from ICE, which is going to be the localizer. So we are all set to come in, as the aircraft's getting ready now. So the descent checklist is all down and in, passing through 18,000 now. Then we'll swoop in from the left and get the aircraft all done. So we're going to take auto brake number 2 on the performance software. Standard auto brake number 1 isn't going to be appropriate. So we'll go in and get our landing speeds now. So Got flaps 30, 152. Plus 5 correction will be a 157. So we can see vertical deviation, we're on our on the right descent path. You can see flight path angle to the vertical bearing, and it's pretty much on point, descending through 1466, which is just about as we make our descent now. Got scattered clouds, got 340, 25 knots. As we come, we can now open up the speed brakes a little. Max is 250. Okay, we'll plus 10. That'll be around a 162. Passing through 16,000 feet now. Still holding at 250. Our terrain is on. We can go and set the ILS frequencies, which is 10830. Okay, so we'll go ahead and put the ILS course frequencies in, etc. So we've got 023, which is set. 023, which is also set. Auto brake number 2. Got the ILS frequencies, which are the 108.3. We've got the 108.3. And the 108.3. As we come in now, forward the approach, we can see now we're near Bolag, but we're just about ready to intercept, as we've got Samco and then Lidva on for Lepna. Okay, so we're going to get ready now to start our decel. There's 10 degrees for the anti-ice, so we'll turn the engine anti-ice off now, as that's what the aircraft was telling us. There's 13,000 feet, we'll go down to 6,000 feet now. The aircraft is on profile. QNHs can go back over to standard, which are 1012. And we're going to get ready to decel now, down to our 220. Okay, so we'll open up the speed brakes. Passing through 11,008. From there we're going to be going on to the 082. As we get ready. Okay, so we're going to hit our decel points and we're going to leave the speed brakes open now. There we go, down to the 220. Aircraft's going to start to level off, 10,000 above, ready for that right turn onto the 082. Okay, which is set. Okay, speed brakes can come in, return to their arm position. And what we can do is we have some recognition of where we are turning now. We can put St John in on the 1135. Okay, which is set. There's St John, so 24 DME out from St John, which runs pretty much next to the localizer, so 24 out. Visibility isn't that great, passing through 10,000 feet now, going into our landing lights on, runway turn-offs, Taxi's going to go on, and we'll tell the cabin to get ready. Okay, as we continue the descent down now to 6,400 above, or 6,000 above. We'll then go down to 4,000, and then we'll be all set to go. So we can open up the speed brakes. Passing through 9,000 feet now. Everything is all set to go. We are going to be coming directly on. We'll set the ILS frequencies all in as we get ready to come down. Ready. So we can see that we've got the 108.3, which is the ILS DME, onto the 023. We can see we've got St. John, which is right next to the localizer, so we are practically 17 DME from the localizer. So there's a 6,000, so we can now put that to 4,000. As we are on profile, coming down. Aircraft is a little bit rocky. But it's clear though, so it's not too bad. Passing through 7,200. Okay. Get ready to turn off the centre pump. Anti-ice is off. Passing through 6,008. So we can see there's St. John VOR. We're going to be going on to the 023, which backtracked would be the 203. So we're pretty much all ready to come in now for the ILS. So we'll go ahead, go back onto our radios, we'll switch over the ILS frequencies, which are now in 19 DME from the runway. The localizer. Everything's all set. As we come down, we're coming down for 4,500 feet for the localizer. So for the time being, we'll stick in the VOR lock. So there's our flaps up now. As we're going to get ready to go down to 1904 Samco. Okay, and now we can go down. So we've got 4,500, which is set, so we can leave 4,500. So that's where we're going to intercept. Okay, so the aircraft's going to start descending. Okay, you can put the VOR lock in.
1,000 to go.
023 is cross-checked on either side, ready to make that right turn from the left. So we can now turn on to the 023. Just set. Max bank. And here we go now, as we turn in. Okay. Activate the approach now. We're going to the single channel. And we're going to a flaps line. flaps 5 set. Set the centre fuel pumps off now. Okay, so as the aircraft gets ready to come down, we are following the glide slope as we come in. So we're coming down roughly at the moment for the 1.5, which we set out to do. We're going to be coming down in for around about 800 feet per minute as we catch in. So we'll go to our flaps 10. As you can see, the wind isn't very nice. And we'll drop the gear, get some drag, and then we'll go down to flaps 15. As we need to come down for 190. Okay, there we go, down for our flaps 15 now. Pass it through 3,000 feet, so we've got auto brake set to number 2. We're on the single channel now, coming down for the VOR lock and the glide slope. Currently descending down now onto the 3-degree glide path. And we can drop flaps 30. And we'll come down to our 152. Okay, plus 10 in, so we'll leave it 160 for a 162. Okay, currently 80 me now from the airport, as you see as we start to make our way down.
2,500.
Check. Okay, so we'll start our descent. We're coming down between 750 800 feet per minute. Okay, check, speed brakes are armed, flaps are fully down and set, auto brake is set to number 2, gears down 3 green, so everybody's happy. So what we can do now is we'll disconnect the autopilot, and we'll disconnect the autopilot, and now I have control of the aircraft. As you see, we've got the wind coming over from the left. So we'll get back on profile now. Okay, there's a glide slope, lift back up, try not to go over 1,000 feet. Okay, using a bit of right rudder now, just keep the aircraft in line with the centre line. Okay, I'm just coming up now. So we are all set now for the approach. You can see the winds are blowing us all over the place, glide slopes everywhere as we come down. So we'll see if we can get down nice and smooth as we start to pass down under the ocean. We'll just come over.
1,000 feet, stabilized, Mr. Perch, altitude set.
Check. Hey, 2 red, 2 white. Okay, so far visually now, 2 red, 2 white.
300, approaching minimums. 200.
Check.
Light slow.
Minimums.
Continue.
Light slow.
Okay, you can see the winds all over the place.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, speed brakes are on, and reverses are active. Okay, manual braking, speed brake can be released, and reverses can go back in. Check. As we get ready now to vacate. And there we are, guys, down in Singapore Airport. So as we get ready now to taxi off the runway, we can retract the speed brake and we get our flaps all back in now as we taxi off. So just letting off of the rudder, that is the aircraft turning on its own from the wind. As you can see, it's quite windy. And there we are, guys, so we'll start to slow the aircraft as we get near to the hold line. Around 120 seconds from the gate, we'll turn the APU on and get it all started to transfer power over. We can turn the auto brake, which is off, flaps are fully retracted. We can turn our landing lights, runway tunnels, taxis can stay on, and we'll turn the ignition starts to off, the wheel can go off, and then we'll tell the cabin they can relax now. So there we are, guys, so we go to our takeoff landing cinematics now, and don't forget to like and subscribe, help us get to that 2K subscriber goal. Thanks to everybody who supports the channel old and new, it's much appreciated, and I'll see you when we get back for our taxi to the gate for Singapore for the approach for runway 02 right for the ILS with Malaysian Airlines. So see you guys in just a second.